about ideas and inspirations that come from art. Very close to the heart of our fellow Toastmasters. Please welcome, as our table topics master, our itinerant Toastmaster, Jay Shaw.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning, Jay.
I've had an itinerant lifestyle and I've not taken this lecture in quite a while. And I'll be happy to regale you with some of the most insightful and interesting and fun questions that I've had. So, to start, what is your favorite Elvis Presley song? And why? Toastmaster and Taylor.
Well, being from Memphis, you can't escape Elvis. Elvis is everywhere. Elvis was the king. Elvis grew up in Tupelo, Mississippi, right down the road from where my parents grew up. And you would meet people in Memphis that their claim to fame was that they met Elvis one time. When my mother was 14 years old, she tried to go to his house, and it was before he lived in Graceland. He wasn't there. She got to meet his dad. She got to meet his mom before his mom tragically passed away. So Elvis was the end all and be all. And I have an Elvis impersonation that I'd like to do for you. This might be offensive to a few people. And so as I'm rethinking it, I'm actually not going to do it. So it's called Elvis Today. It's called Elvis Today. I lay down on the floor and I'm dead, actually. So Memphis, Elvis is the only way to go. Thanks.
What is your favorite Star Wars movie and why? Toastmaster Ken Blainer.
Well, it would be the first Star Wars movie, I think, would be my favorite.
Yeah.
And I was working for my father's company that summer. I was an itinerant truck driver and lumber sorter and all that stuff. It was an exhausting job. So when I took my day out to see this first Star Wars movie, I went to the theater and we sat down and ate our popcorn and watched the movie. And I don't remember the second half because I fell asleep. That's what happens when you work 60 hours a week in physically laborious stuff. So my first Star Wars movie was happy my favorite from what I remember of it anyway. That's it, thank you.
All right, All right. What is your favorite Beatles song and why? Toastmaster Mark Ehlers.
Beatles?
Thank you for that question. It's really interesting because the last couple of months, in the mornings when I get up, I turn on the computer, and I usually go to the YouTube and listen to music. In the last couple of months, I've been listening to a lot of Beatles songs. So you would think, after doing that, a song would just pop in. Really hasn't, but I think my favorite Beatles song actually is some of the earlier ones, like I Want to Hold Your Hands and so forth. And the reason I like those songs, and I didn't realize it until recently, is that they were all so kind of tightly put together. The lyrics were really simple yet profound, and they were short. They were like 2 minutes or 2 minutes and 30 seconds. When you think about it, when you're trying to write a speech and compress it into 5 minutes or 6, it's difficult. So that's my answer. So thank you.
Thank you. All right. Who is your favorite Beatle? And why? Toastmaster Carlos Benitez.
John Lennon. A lot of people might not agree because during the time he was a little controversial, revolutionary. However, I love the Beatles. When I lived in Bronx, they came to America. I was a young kid. I was in kindergarten, and they asked us to do this finger painting, and I did the Beatles, and I won the first prize. So my mother kept this painting of Beatles, long hair, for years and years and years until the paper disintegrated doing the song. She loved it. She was proud of me. I love the Beatles. A lot of great things happened during that time. But again, John Lennon, very controversial, beautiful songs. The Beatles. I just saw Elvis movie. That's also controversial. His life that he went through. To rise to stardom and fame is a path. Misery for some and fame for others. Thank you.
Carlos. Okay. Who is your favorite Star Wars character and why? Toastmaster Carson Schaefer.
It's got to be Han Solo. You know, that's my style. I will be itinerant. Make Tim happy. Stand in front.
There you go. Thank you.
Camera.
Thank you.
Solo. You know, the guy flew by the seat of his pants from day one. Did not care. Said that he was in it for the money. But then he did the right thing. I like that. Outwardly, I will tell you that I'm just in it for the money, that I don't really care. But in the end, if I have no other choice, I'll do the right thing. Or at least what I believe is the right thing. The key that I learned from Solo is to do the right thing and get paid for it. If you can do that, you have it made. And that's why Han Solo is the best character in Star Wars.
The Empire Strikes Back. Darth Vader sends his fleets across the galaxy to capture Luke. He really loves his son. Could you talk about father-son love? Benjamin Uridia.
Benjamin.
Good morning, Toastmasters.
Good morning, Ben.
I have been accused that I don't talk loudly. But this is what I'm going to do this morning.
I hear you.
Well, there are a lot of songs, usually from mother to little kids. When they are beginning on the crowd, they just always sing a song which you remember forever. Remember forever. So much so that some of those songs put us to sleep. And that is what I remember some of these songs also to these days, that you just listen to them and you don't even understand. This is my problem. I don't know, because the language, I guess, but some of these songs I don't understand. I just go by the rhythm and it's fine. So the lovely songs, they don't need to be spoken, but the feeling that you convey, that is very important. It is an itinerant flow of words, and that is important.
There you go.
Shifting topic a little bit. Who is your favorite 007 James Bond and why?
Too easy.
New for some. Everyone has a different opinion. New Toastmaster Caitlin Pyle.
Galen.
First of all, tabletop tennis. I thought these questions were about art. So, we'll talk about Daniel Craig and how he reminds me of Renaissance artwork. Make me hate me. Daniel Craig is gay. I thought that was really surprising when I found that out, but hey, I think that's cool because it's cool, you know. He's into what he's into. I don't really watch 007 movies. I can remember playing GoldenEye or watching someone play GoldenEye on some kind of game system when I was growing up, but I do remember the movie Casino Royale. That's 007, right? Yep. Okay. I have a terrible movie memory, and so when people talk about what movie have you seen? I say, no, I haven't seen it. Still haven't seen The Sound of Music. That's kind of what I think about. It's like, what? You haven't seen that movie? You need to sit down and watch it. But I still don't remember it a week from now. Brain's going in the background so many times. And so, yeah, Daniel Craig's the best.
What is your favorite artistic expression? What do you love doing the most in any form of art? New Toastmasters, just Steve Lekadu.
What I like doing most with art. So, in high school, I did a lot of art stuff. I can't draw, so, yeah. But I love duct tape. So, in 8th grade, I made a duct tape dress for graduation. I made duct tape wallets, purses, pens, basically anything. But I also love crocheting. People say knitting sometimes, and that pisses me off because they're different. But knitting is two, like sticks, whatever it is, and then crocheting is one. But yeah, that's it.
There are a lot of cities in the world that have a lot of great art. New York is one of them. Toastmaster Steve Joseph, did you see any great art in New York on your recent trip?
Thank you for the question. In trying to be an itinerant individual, I did take not one, but 2 trips to New York. The first one was a reconnaissance mission, and then the second one, because I left my laptops in New York, was more like a search and rescue. Like Jay said, there's a lot of art, a lot of museums, and like art-related stuff in New York. You know, like Broadway and Carnegie Hall and all like the natural parks, like Central Park. I think probably the best performance of art that I saw while there was not in like a gallery or something like that, but it was in the subway. Like my very first time riding the subway, some dude just like, holds the car hostage. And you're like, whoa. You know, I would have preferred that he like asked us for money at gunpoint or something, but he forced us to watch his dance performance. Like he'd been working on the routine years at this point. He's like, today I'm going to do it. And what I appreciate about that the most, I remember Carlos talking about how the rise to stardom can be misery for some because we're looking for external validation. And I just loved how committed he was to it. Right? Like people were cracking jokes afterwards, but he didn't care, he just did it. Thank you.
What is your favorite movie, Toastmaster Shang Li?
Shannon.
Shannon Lee. What is your favorite movie?
Favorite movie? Alright, so I'm not really a movie person, but and also I don't remember a name of movie, but I do have some movies that will teach me a lot of things that I can relate. I think the first movie I watched, American movie, it was Titanic. And I was very young, you know, I was in China, so then during the movie, and I was kind of, first time I realized that tense of a love, right? You not only consider of yourself, but also you give love to others or another person. So that's something I kind of love the culture of, in that movie, and also can start, the first time I realized that it's so different between the Western culture and Asian culture. So I think that whatever watch, you really want to focus on things you can learn from the movie and from the characters. Thank you.
What is your favorite song of all time? New Toastmaster, Lydia Davies.
Yeah.
Good morning.
Morning.
Yeah, itinerant for a long time, and I'm happy to land here today.
My favorite song of all time has to be Imagine by John Lennon. Truly, there is no serious single song that I love. There are many, and there's art to all of the music that's written. There's art to all of the videos and movies that we've seen. And there's art in your eyes, because it's your eyes who determine what you see, and your ears is what you bring into your soul, and it brings out the best in you and the best in everybody else, including the music that you listen to. Imagine
Okay. Why were the original Star Wars movies so good? Toastmaster Morris McNiven.
Good morning, Toastmasters.
Good morning.
I would have to say the reason the original Star Wars movies were so good was the technology that they used was so far advanced to what we were used to prior to that. I can remember old movies that they had nothing. It was just the actors. In these movies, there was so much CGI and so much other technology used. It was fabulous, and it was mind-bending. That's what made those movies so great at that time, and I still think they're the greatest.
All right.
If you were a painter, what would be the first thing that you would paint? New Toastmaster, or not new Toastmaster, but Toastmaster Paula Soriano.
Good morning.
Good morning.
These questions are great, by the way, specifically because the worst part about coming up here for me is thinking that you'll say the wrong thing or not being able to have the right answer. So these questions are good because it's all about what you think. So if I was a painter, who would I paint first? And I would have to say that my dog would be the first thing that I would paint. He's just beautiful. He's got the brownest eyes, the nicest skin. He's so soft. and I'm just completely obsessed with him. So I would definitely have paintings of Leo everywhere.
All right.
That concludes table topics. Mr. Timer, has everyone qualified?
They have.
Okay, great. Yes. One more? One more?
Yes, one more.
One more?
Sure.
All right.
Looks like, yeah.
Okay. All right. If you were a painter, what would be the first thing that you would paint? Toastmaster.
Anna.
I'll go.
Anna wants to go.
Toastmaster Anna.
Good, you're looking very good.
What's the question again?
If you were a painter, what would be the first thing that you would paint?
So who in here has been to Arizona before? Anyone? Beautiful. So I've been dating my boyfriend Jared for 2.5 years. We've been long distance for half of that. And he lives in Phoenix. And recently we went to Flagstaff, which is in northern Arizona, just for this past summer for a few days. I'm a rock climber, for those of you who don't know. So I was like a kid in a candy store in there. There's rock climbing routes absolutely everywhere. I don't get off topic about rock climbing, so let's go back to painting. But one thing I would paint is this particular field that we sat in for a picnic on this trail right outside of Flagstaff. There was rolling hills, green grass, red rock, and I've never seen something so exquisite. Me as an itinerant person, I actually wanted to stay here. I didn't want to leave. So if I could paint anything, it would be Flagstaff.
Okay.
Great. Everyone vote for 2. That concludes table topics. I'll turn control back to you.
2 minutes.